Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a Best in Beauty 2017 video, and going into this video I thought, why are you doing this? Like, you're very new to this, you didn't even start dabbling in makeup until this year, but here's the thing. I learned a lot about makeup this year, and I also have quite a few favorites that I've run into, and I've tried a lot of stuff in this last year. Some of it is stuff that I don't have anymore because I ran out of it and I haven't replaced it yet because I am trying to go through the stuff that I do have. But I thought that I could do a video from a newcomer's perspective without all the, hype of, like, these people sent me this and these people sent me that. Nobody's sending me anything. I purchased all this stuff with my own money, and I purchased from multiple brands in these same products, and feel like these are really the best of what I've used over the last year. I did pretty much stick to stuff that I keep going back to because I feel like that makes them the best, right? That makes them, in my opinion, better than the rest because I keep using them when I have other items that I could be using instead. There is a lot to this. There is some face, skin care items, but not very many. There is also one like body thing that I put in here that I think is pretty phenomenal. Let's just jump in. So the first thing I have for you, let's just do body care first because I only have one body care item, and it is the Gillette Venus Shower and Shave Cream. And I think I have, I know I have this in multiple videos. It's been in a couple of my faves and flops videos. It is most certainly the best shave cream, in my opinion, out there on the market. It is a shave cream, not a gel, so it moisturizes your skin a lot more than the creamy, even the creamy ones that say that they have moisturizer in them. This one works better. I've said it before in a video, my daughter has issues with shaving, and she would constantly get, like, even using the most shaving cream that she could on her armpits, she would constantly have a razor burn on her armpits from shaving her armpits. And since starting to use this, she doesn't have that anymore. I also have super sensitive skin, so it didn't matter what I was using. Every single time I shaved my legs, I ended up with a razor rash, and I don't anymore with this. So this is some pretty stellar stuff. I think it comes in two smells. This one is vanilla cream, and there is also a lavender one, which is purple. And the next thing I have is actually this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Deep Dive Cleansing Gel. I only have like the deluxe version of this. I don't have the full size. The full size is $25, I believe. But I got this in a kit, and this is an amazing cleanser. I really dig it because it's a gel. It doesn't come out like a foam or like a soap. It's a gel. You work it into your skin and then you rinse it off. But this has been the most sensitive to my face. It feels good going on. It feels good while it's cleaning. My ride or die eye makeup remover is this Mary Kay oil-free eye makeup remover. And I have emptied and repurchased this probably 5 times in the last year. I think I had 2 bottles of this to begin with, so I've repurchased it quite a few times. A friend of mine sells Mary Kay, and I love this stuff. It doesn't sting my eyes. It takes off the makeup like that. You just put a little bit onto a cotton round or a cotton square. I put it on my eye and then just wipe it away, and it literally comes right off. Even waterproof mascara comes off with this remover. So, best eye makeup remover on the planet. My ride or die primer. Sorry guys, I didn't put this into much of an order. Sorry. My Ride or Die primer is the Laura Geller Spackle primers. Currently, I'm using the Spackle Treatment Primer in Hydrating, but I have also used Ethereal. I've also used Cooling. These are some amazing primers. I have tried like pore fillers, and I have tried other hydrating primers, and I find that this is just the best primer. My makeup doesn't slip around. My makeup stays exactly where it's supposed to stay, and it also, no matter which one I'm using, it also does things to hydrate my face. I was also putting the e.l.f. Illuminating Moisturizer. I was mixing it with my primer. I don't have a picture of that, but I will get one in the screen here. That is $8. It also comes in a pump. You guys have probably seen it before if you're familiar with my channel. It's in a green tube with a pump on the end. And I would just mix in one pump of that with my primer, mix it together, put it on my face. That way I got my daytime moisturizer, and I also got SPF because this primer doesn't have SPF in it. But the Illuminating Moisturizer by e.l.f. does, and it's got SPF 15, so you're getting your daily SPF. You are also moisturizing. You also have this amazing primer on your face. So that is the best daytime moisturizer that I have found. And it worked well with everything I was using. So I used it every single day, and I don't have it because I need to replace it. Another thing I don't have is the night cream that I absolutely loved, and the reason I don't have it is because I'm trying something else right now and I ran out of that, but it was the Origins Nightamins. And I'll put a picture up here. I love that night cream. I used it every single day. It smelled so good, and I could actually tell a difference between my skin prior to use and my skin after use. It's just a really great nighttime primer for your skin. You just lather it on, go to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, your skin feels so much better. So if you are a dry skin girl, that is the nighttime moisturizer for you. My favorite setting spray, going completely backwards here, is the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is my Ride or Die. This is a mattifying spray, and it says that it is long-lasting, oil-free, paraben-free, temperature-controlled technology. It is supposed to last you, like, I don't know, 14 hours or something like that. 16. Up to 16 hours. I have found that to be true. This is an amazing primer. If you're into, not primer, setting spray. If you're into a mattifying setting spray, you really should try this, because even if you don't need all-nighter spray, all-nighter wear, you probably need all-day wear, and this is a great one for that. I found that after spraying it on my face, now I wasn't, in the beginning of this whole journey, I wasn't a setting spray believer. I wasn't, and I think a lot of it was because of some of the setting sprays I was using. I have used other high-end setting sprays, but I've also used other drugstore setting sprays, and they just didn't, they either weren't great to my skin, they weren't cohesive with the makeup I was putting on my skin, or they just didn't last. This one is pretty phenomenal. This is my Ride or Die. The next thing I have for you is this Physicians Formula Murmur Butter Bronzer. As you guys can see, I have Baby Pan there, and I am putting this also into my project pan for 2018, just to get it out of my drawer. I will probably repurchase, but this is an amazing bronzer. It smells so good. It still smells so super good. It does come with like a little mirror and a like foamy poof to put it on with, which I don't completely understand. I don't think bronzer should be put on with a poof. But this bronzer is just a really, I don't know if you guys can see that, it's just a really universal bronzing color. It goes really well with any skin type. It does come in two colors, I think bronzer and then light bronzer for our more fair counterparts, but my skin is naturally pretty fair. I think I wear light in almost everything I wear. I'm starting to dabble a little bit more with some of the colors I wear, but it is mostly light. So This color is the second choice, the darker of the two, and it is a pretty phenomenal bronzer. And I bought it because YouTube made me buy it. The gurus that I watch loved this stuff, and I can see why. It's a great bronzer. It goes very well with anybody's complexion. It's good to your skin. It smells delicious. My absolute favorite matte formula has to be the Viseart mattes, and I know that they're super expensive. This palette is regular price $80, and that's really expensive, but these mattes are amazing mattes, and all their mattes are amazing mattes. I also have one of their shimmers palettes, and I don't find that they do as good with shimmers, but they're amazing. They're great. They're just not as amazing as their mattes. I use these two colors almost daily. I have used every color in this palette. None of the colors have done me wrong. They all appear on the eye exactly how they appear in the pan, and they are just amazing. I mean, this is the dark blue, and that is definitely dark blue. This is the dark purple, and that is definitely purple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is the best matte formula on the market. As it should be. I mean, you don't want to pay $80. You don't want to pay $80 for something that's crap, right? So I didn't pay $80 for that, but retail price, they are that way. But you can typically get them cheaper than that at musebeautypro.com, which is where I got mine. The next thing I want to talk about is single shadows. I think that the reason why I'm putting these in here is because these shadows I go back to continually, and I use one of them every single day, and that is minus this blue guy here. The blue guy is not part of it. These are all Colourpop pressed shadows. Colourpop shadows are probably some of the better shadows I have dipped my brush in, my finger into in the year that I've been doing this. While some people might not say that they're the best, I feel like I am constantly going back to them because they provide me the color payoff I want. And their shimmers are also amazing. This is a shimmer shade right here, and that is so pretty. It's so pretty. And this matte, also so pretty. I just feel like these shades, the Colourpop pressed especially, do exactly what I want them to do when I need them to do them, and I continue to go back to them, and they're super affordable. They're like $5 a pan, and a lot of times you can get them on the Colourpop website on sale for like $4 a pan. So, and the pans each are like 0.05, I think. So they're not bad. They're not a bad price. I mean, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, like if you bought 20 of them like you would purchase in a palette, then yes, they're going to be expensive. A lot of people don't think about, you know, that when they're purchasing. What they think about is the fact that an Urban Decay single shadow is like $20. So for $5, I'm getting the same amount of product, and it's comparable to those guys on the market. They are darn good shadows. They're shadows that I continue to go back to, and they were $5 a piece. Another thing that I want to talk about that I also no longer have because I just ran out of it and I'm trying a new one, and I'll put a picture of it up here, is the Tarte Man-Eater Liquid Eyeliner. That was in my empties video for December, and what I want to say about that eyeliner is it is phenomenal. It is the first liquid eyeliner that I bought, and I have purchased multiple liquid eyeliners since, but it was the liquid eyeliner that I continued to use because I loved it. It was so black, and it was so easy to use. It had a nice felt tip that came to a really nice fine point on it, and it was easy for me to learn on. So if you are learning to do liquid eyeliner, that's a good one to use. But it was also just really easy to use. I didn't have to continue to go over the same line over and over and over again, which is something I'm doing with the current one I'm using, which is ticking me off to make it look the blackest as it can be, as it could be. And it's just a really great liquid eyeliner pen that I found easy to use and really black. Another thing I want to talk about that I don't have I don't have a bottle of, because I got it in samples and I continued to, every time I made a purchase, get it in samples. Like if you got to choose your samples, that was the sample that I chose. So I've used it quite a few times this year, and that's why I think I can speak to it. But it is the NARS Luminous Weightless All Day Foundation. That foundation was what steered me towards buying other foundations, because I used it first in a Get Ready With Me using only samples, and I'll link that video here. At first, I was like, this package doesn't have enough to cover my face, and it feels really like there's nothing in here. And when I opened up the package, I ended up getting it all over, because literally it is the most liquid formula foundation that I have ever tried. And so it got all over the place. So I ended up with just this tiny itty bitty bit amount of this NARS Luminous Weightless foundation the first time I used it. And it worked. Like, it covered my entire face. And I was floored. I was floored at how easy it was to apply, at how weightless it felt on my face, because the reason why I didn't wear makeup prior to this last year is because I'm a firm believer that you don't have to wear makeup to make yourself pretty. But I was also of the opinion that I had a really nice complexion and I didn't want to ruin it with makeup. And makeup felt heavy, therefore, and looked heavy, and therefore I didn't want to use it. And this foundation did not look heavy. It did not feel heavy. You could not tell I was even wearing a foundation on my face, even though it was a fuller coverage foundation. Well, it was more coverage than I had ever had on my face in the past, but it is labeled a fuller coverage foundation than, you know, a BB cream. It's like light to medium foundation coverage, and I found that it made my skin just look airbrushed. And that's what we all want, right? To the extent that I tried the dupe for it and the dupe didn't work out for me. If I had $50 to spend on a full bottle of it, I would definitely do that. And when I think about the money that I have spent on foundations, I was like, you should have just bought this. But I can't afford $50 every few months on a foundation. So I don't purchase it, and instead I just hoard all the samples of it that I can, because it is an amazing foundation. The two foundations that I find myself buying instead is this Too Faced Peach Perfect, which I also believe is a fabulous foundation. If you guys can't tell, it's getting really low. I have already purchased a backup. It states it's a comfort matte foundation. I feel that it is a very comfortable foundation. It also does not feel like you're wearing anything on your face. It's oil-free, 14-hour wear, oil controlling, and photo-friendly, which is correct. You can't tell I'm wearing it. I am in the color Warm Nude, which is kind of more of a yellow toned. I have a very olive complexion. This is a perfect match for me, and this foundation comes in many different colors, and it smells good, and it's got a pump, which I love the pump factor, because I just pump a couple pumps on my hand and it's the perfect amount. It's not nearly as liquidy as the NARS, but it is very weightless. The next one I have is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. This is color correcting full coverage cream. It's anti-aging. It has SPF, so I wear this a lot more in the summer because of the SPF in it. It is an SPF 50. My sister talked me into this, and at first I was like, ooh, like I got it and then I got home and I was like, I need to return this. This is full coverage and I'm not a full coverage person. But this is as full coverage as it gets for a CC cream, and it is pretty amazing. It goes onto your skin really, really nicely. I found that as my skin started to get drier, though, it started to cling to some of my dry patches. So I just started hydrating my face more, using more of my moisturizers and not skipping on my nighttime moisturizers. That way my face was a little more hydrated. It isn't a foundation that I can use when my face is at its driest. That is what I've learned about it. But it is a fabulous foundation. I love that it's a multitasker. I love that you can put it on and not have to worry about an SPF underneath. So, and it's anti-aging. You can't beat that. The concealer that I have is made by that same company, IT Cosmetics, and it is the Bye Bye Under Eye. This is listed as a full coverage anti-aging waterproof concealer. That is 100% true. This guy, you're supposed to kind of, it comes in a tube and you're supposed to kind of like warm it up in your hands, right? I never warm it up in my hands. I always just put a little bit on my hand here and warm it up like that and then put it out on my face. If you're not careful with this, it could come off as really cakey because it is a very thick under eye concealer, but it is an amazing under eye concealer. The next thing I have for you is blushes. So my all-time favorite blush formula is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. So this one's in the color Party. I also have a couple of these, and I got the Blush Bazaar this year, which is the same exact formula as what's in here. I find that these deluxe sample sizes are the perfect size because I do have one that I'm putting in my project pan this year. I've had it for a year. It's just starting to show signs that it might pan, and I'm gonna make it pan because I use it every single day. But this really is the perfect size. The full size is $29, I believe, and it's quite a bit bigger, but this is the perfect size. This is the perfect blush formula. It does say 12-hour wear. It definitely has 12-hour wear. I don't find it moving anywhere on my face. I find that you can, you know, build it up or make it as sheer as you need it to be. If you're not, like, at first when I started this, never wore makeup, blush scared me, but this formula was easy, super easy to work with. The next thing I have on my list is an eye primer, and I can't find this eye primer anywhere but eBay lately, but this is my all-time favorite Ride or Die eye primer, and it is the Bare Minerals Well Rested CC eye primer, and I believe you can get this in all different colors. This one is the color correcting, so it was just the, you know, concealer colored corrector. It is super smooth to go on. It's very creamy. So if you have like super dry eyelids, it would help with the hydration of your eyelids. It also corrected the color of your eyelids. I know my eyelids tend to get really red because I have allergies that bother me year round, and this would take the redness out. Currently, I find that the stick formula is quite possibly my favorite to use for eye primers, and I think the reason why is because I don't feel like the potion kind, the primer potion, or the liquid, you know, the ones that you rub into your skin, I don't feel like there's any kind of coverage there with those ones, and it could just be the ones that I'm using. But I've used some really good ones. I want to try the Milani one because Emily Noel swears by that. But this one so far has been my Ride or Die, and I have been using this all year long. And this is the one that I continued to go back to, and now that I can't purchase it anymore, I'm trying a different stick format, so we'll see. But this was my Ride or Die eye primer this year. So the next thing I have is some lip liners, and I have tried quite a few, and these ones were my favorite. And this is the Buxom Plump Line lip liners. I do have 3 here to show you guys, but I have more over in my lip liner container. This one is called Anonymous Allure, and it is a really, really super pretty color. What I love most about these lip liners is on one end is the pencil and on the other is a blending brush. So you can blend your lip liner all over your lip without much effort. You can also work them into each other, like blend them into each other without it looking forced because of the blending brush. And you don't have to have a specific lipstick brush for them because they come with it. They are roughly, I think they're $20, $18, $20, something like that. They do have a little bit of plumping-esque-ness to them, which means they're kind of going to make your lips feel a little tingly, but not as much as like the Buxom lip glosses or the Buxom lip creams do. The next thing I have on my list is a lipstick. My favorite lipstick, and lips was not my thing this year, just started actually dabbling in them within the last 6 months, I think. My favorite lipstick is the Lorac Alter Ego lipsticks, and I have a couple to show you here. This one is quite possibly my favorite color, and it is called Secret Agent. And that is the color there. They're just very creamy, so creamy and so comfortable on my lips. And I find that when I have these on my lips and I take them off, like my lips don't feel super dry. My lips don't feel uncomfortable while it's on. They have a pretty good lasting power. I would say better than, you know, maybe in the 60% range. So 60% of lipsticks don't have the same, that I've tried, let's get that straight, don't have the same lasting power that these guys do, and like 40% do. One that lasts longer, I will tell you, is the Kat Von D Studded formula. That lasts longer than these. But this is a pretty creamy formula that is very comfortable. So for people that are not interested in lipsticks because of the comfort of them, you would probably enjoy these. The next thing I have for you is actually my liquid lipstick favorite, and that is the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick. I think the biggest reason why I like these is not only for the comfort factor, because they are very comfortable, but it's also for this doe foot. So for somebody who is new to lipstick and liquid lipstick, it's really hard for me to put on a lipstick with a straight up and down doe foot, or even one that's slanted. This one has a slight curvature to it. You guys see that little curve right there? This one has a slight curvature to it that makes it really easy to place it on your lip in the right way and get it on your lip the way it's intended to be on your lip, without like gooping up at one end or the other, and without as many mistakes as I tend to make with a straight up and down doe foot. I have tried multiple liquid lipsticks, and this is quite possibly my favorite formula, not only because of the doe foot, but also because of the comfortability of it all. It doesn't have the same lasting power as, say, the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks, but its lasting power is also pretty good. Not as long as those, but pretty good, and it's so comfortable. The Anastasia ones I don't find as comfortable as the Dose of Color ones, for sure. The next thing I have is mascaras. I would say by far my favorite and my go-to in the last year was the Essence / Princess mascaras, and I do have both the green and the red. So this one is the False Lash Effect, and this one is the Volume mascara. And these, in combination with each other, are phenomenal. This one is going to make your eyes or your lashes look like you have more, and look voluminous. That's what it's for, right? And this one is going to be the one that separates and makes them look pretty and gives them length. And this is what that one looks like. And as far as like separating, that one doesn't do as well as, say, the Benefit Their Real one does, but it's amazing. And this one is the voluminous one. So I've went through a few of these this year. I will continue to go through these. I will continue to purchase these because these are some amazing mascaras. Another thing I want to talk about that I don't have a picture of, I will put it up here, is the MAC eyebrow. So I got this in a BoxyCharm actually, and I wasn't really sure about it, and I had a difficult time getting it going at first because I couldn't figure out how to get the makeup out of the container. But after I did, I used it every single day. It is a super skinny pencil, kind of like the Anastasia Brow Wiz, but so much easier to use than the Brow Wiz. I feel like the Brow Wiz, you have to press super hard to get any kind of pigmentation on your skin, and then once you do, sometimes it's just super overpowering to the extent that I have to use a different brow pencil and go over the top of it just to make it look less the color that I used. And with the eyebrows, the eyebrow MAC pencil, I didn't have to do that, and the color that I got was lingering, and that was pretty, it was a pretty general color. I think it was listed as a light brown or a soft brown or something like that, but it was not quite brown, but not quite red, but not quite black. It was weird. It was a weird color, but it was an amazing pencil. I enjoyed every single minute I used it, and I used it so quickly. It's $18, and I went through it so quickly that I'm like, is it worth $18? But it is definitely worth $18. It is a great eyebrow pencil. But with that being said, I also fell in love with the IT Brow Power, and I just have a deluxe sample size that I got of this. But on one side of this pencil is the spoolie, and on the other side is the actual pencil, and it has kind of an oval shape to it, and it is a lot thicker than the MAC eyebrow pencil, but I've found that it is very forgiving. It's a pencil that should be used by beginners or people that don't do their brows very often. It is a spectacular eyebrow pencil, and it's lasted, that little tiny one has lasted me forever. The full-size version of that, I believe, is $24. We'll have all that information in the drop down for you guys, and it is probably well worth the $24. I believe that I've gotten $24 worth of use out of the little tiny deluxe sample size that I have. Another pencil that I have for you is this Revlon Color Stay. I have been using this eyeliner pencil for years. This used to be the only thing I ever wore, was this eyeliner. The one thing I love about this eyeliner is that I can put this eyeliner on and it stays exactly where I put it, and it does not move. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with eyeliners that move into the corners of your eyes, and then you have these, you know, eyeliner eye boogies, which is gross. This pencil doesn't do that, and every other drugstore pencil that I have ever came across has done that. So I started buying the Revlon Color Stay, and I would buy it in this brown color, this brown, and I would also buy it in black. And this would go on my lower lash line, and the black would go on my upper lash line, and that is all I wore. I love that it comes with a little smudger on the other side, and also a sharpener on the inside of that, so that you can sharpen it if you want to, but I never found a need to use the sharpener. Amazing, inexpensive eyeliner pencil. So the highlighter I have for you guys that I feel is the best highlighter on the market is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors pressed. So I don't know much about the liquid or the cream version of this because I haven't tried them. I do plan on trying the poured version this year. What I do have is I have Opal and Prosecco Pop. I have used the hell out of these guys. I don't know if you can see it. And I have a lot of highlighters. A very close second for me is the Laura Geller Baked Gelato ones. Those are very nice as well. But I feel like these ones pop just a little bit more. It is what I'm wearing today on my skin. I'm wearing the Prosecco Pop one. These ones are just, you put them on and they just melt into your skin. They don't sit on top. They don't, like, you can't, you can tell that there's makeup there, right? Because we don't ever glow that much, ever, right? But they just melt into the skin, so they create this, like, they can have this, like, from within look to them, but they also can create this like see me from the moon highlight if you want. This is the most amazing highlighter that I've tried. I do have several different versions of highlighter that I've tried. I've tried drugstore and I've tried high-end. I have not tried like luxury, because who can afford that really? Not me. But this, for a high-end option, this is the best one on the market. These are kind of spendy. You do spend $38 a piece for this size, but recently Sephora started carrying minis, which would probably be perfect. They would probably run you the same amount of time or longer, because you use far less highlighter than blush as the Tarte Deluxe Size Amazonian Clay blushes, and they're $19. So, and you can get, I think, most of the regular colors that she puts out in those mini versions, and they're $19. So I've thought about getting a few of those. But this amazing highlighter, you guys, this one is opal and it is my favorite, and that is just so pretty. And that's what it looks like on the skin. Again, just so pretty. I'm almost done. The last thing I have for you guys is a brush brand. And the reason why I am including the brush brand is because brushes are an integral part of what you're doing. And I'm super sorry, it's brush cleaning day and these are dirty currently. Brushes are an integral part of how you put on your makeup. And while I do not think that you need to spend $30 on a brush, I have, but I don't think that you need to. And I do have some pretty expensive brushes that I've gotten in some boxes. I don't think that you need to. My favorite brush brand is honestly Real Techniques. The reason why they are my favorite is because they're just super soft. They work for what I need them to do. You can get them in super tiny, clear up to super big, and I have a lot of these brushes. This one is the buffing brush, and like I said, it's dirty, but it is what I use every single day to put on my foundation. It is an amazing brush. It's super, super, super soft. This one is the Deluxe Crease Brush, and I don't use this as a crease brush. I find it to be too fat for me to use as a crease brush, but because I like it's fluffy, but it's so densely packed that it just places it for me and doesn't really blend it out very well for me, probably because I don't know how to use it correctly. I like a fluffier brush, and I have found that my IT Cosmetics airbrush blending crease brush is the best fluffy brush that I have, and that is one that I spent a good penny on. But this one I do use to put my eye primer on, and the color that I put on top of my eye primer to set it. I use this brush for that every single day. This one is the crease shadow brush. I use this one a lot for getting into my brow bone highlight. I love this brush. It's got a nice little pointed tip to it. I don't know if you guys can see that. It has a nice pointed tip to it. These brushes are amazing, and they're really inexpensive. You can get sets of them for like $15, or go to TG Maxx. I got my sets for $8, and I got a set of 5 brushes for $8. I got a set of 4 brushes for $8. I got a lot of brushes for like $40. You don't have to spend a fortune on brushes. You just have to have a good brush. And I feel like Real Techniques does put out a good brush. Their sponge is also my favorite beauty sponge, because I refuse to spend $20 on a beauty blender. I refuse. It's a sponge that I put makeup on my face with. And yes, I want it to be soft, and yes, I want it to work, but this does just as good. And I got a set of 4 of them for $10. And granted, you spend $7.99 on one. So I got a deal, and it was over Christmas, but I'm thankful for that deal. And this sponge does such a good job. It is a great sponge. You have a flat side so that you can get your foundation on there if that's what you choose to do. You have a pointy side to get into the corners of your eyes. They also have little ones that you can use on your eyes. This is the best beauty sponge. So I have found for me that my best brushes and applicators, I guess, come from Real Techniques. So I hope you enjoyed this video. That was my best of 2017. I hope I didn't forget anything. I think I hit all bases. I got some skincare in there. I got application in there. I got a little bit of everything in there. So I hope I got it all for you in there. But I have an enormous amount of stuff that I had to pick and choose from to compile this list, and these were the things that I saw myself going back to and had great reasons for why. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am by no means an expert on this, so I appreciate that you clicked on my video to watch my video and listen to my opinion on everything. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I genuinely hope that you do, and leave me some comments down in the comment bar. I'd love to hear what you fell in love with in 2017. Again, thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.